This is a panel called "What the Hell is So Funny?" This is actually just a little bit just teaching you about comedy. You know, not that we're like we went to school for comedy or anything like that, but we do make a living. Show. Stop though. But we both make livings. You know, pretty much make people laugh and you know various. Mostly stupid kinds of humor, but it works. That's fine. Yeah. Just go through introductions real quick. I'm Doug Walker. Website ComedyGuy.com. I do characters like Chester A. Bum, Ask That Guy with Glasses, Dominic and Dating Confessions, and most popular the Nostalgia Critic. Right next to me is...
Hi, Brad Jones. I do the CinemaSnob.com. I play the CinemaSnob, and I also try crappy food sometimes. And I've played a serial killer in like 3 movies, so really, I don't know what I'm doing in a comedy.
So, porn, serial killer, and eating crap.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what those are kind of comedy.
I'm this close to it.
That makes sense.
You know, every comic's pretty funny, okay? You see this stand-up, he's great.
A lot of people forget that.
Physical comedy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so pretty much the thing to talk about with comedy, the most important thing in my opinion, and I've yet to see anything that went against this, is that all comedy is based on some form of misery. It's based on some form of negativity. You know, the slapstick is really example. Somebody gets hurt, ha, it's funny, but it's not funny if it happens to you, as we've all heard that cliche. But even something like, you know, making funny faces or something like that. Well, how is that funny? Or how is that, you know, anything relating to misery or anything negative? Actually, it is because it's making fun of stupid people, or people who look different, or people who look funny, or have a weird face. They're like, ha, they have a really face. You know, I mean, maybe they were born with that face or that deformity or something like that. Evil, shame on you. Yeah. Or even stuff like puns, you know, making fun of words or something like that. And that's you're mocking words. Like Weird Al Yankovic, he can take a song about a woman named Lola who someone feels very close about, and he can turn it into Yoda. It's about a Star Wars character. Hey, isn't that? Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, just taking these two things that sound alike, and all of a sudden you're thinking very romantically about the red once you get that, you start to realize that the more you sort of connect your comedy to some form of misery, the more you can sort of make that connection, usually the funnier it is. And one of the big things about comedy, and especially for me, is reaction. And just how something affects a character, and how is it negatively going to affect the person, whatever the action is. With that said, who would like to volunteer to first?
Jesus.
This is delicious. I'm only here okay. So here's what we're going to do. I got my notes here. We're going to show a few different types of reactions. The action from him is going to be the exact same thing. He's going to, you got to say, we're going to look at you and stand back. Here's how you're going to look at me, and it's a very big gesture. You're going to go, boom, across my head. So whack me in the head. And the first reaction I'm going to show you is just a straightforward reaction. What would happen if someone just knocks me out? Very basic. So go ahead and do it. Very basic. Someone hits you, you fall down. Now the one I'm going to show you is sort of the over-the-top reaction. Something that's just really, really goofy, and really it's emphasizing the pain that the character's going through. You're going to do is they just great big boom like that, you know, and even slower, build it up. I mean, just boom, not harder, but you know, build it up like that. So go ahead. That's a very over-the-top, goofy, you know, silly kind of reaction. Next one I'm going to show you is delayed reaction. And this is one where you take something you think's going to happen and you sort of play with the expectation of when it's going to happen. Exact same way you did it before, you got to just boom across the head like that. Now that plays with the expectation, because when someone usually gets you, it's not like the normal where you fall down. It takes the character a second to realize that he's feeling pain and that he's been hurt. The last one I'm going to show you is the surprise reaction. This is one where you do something, you build it up like it's going to be one thing, instead you deliver something totally different. So again, you're really going to build up this thing, you go like that. So you ready, and go.
He's learning! He's learning!
You go. I thought I was the only one.
So pretty much, a lot of reactions are sort of based off of those four. There's sort of variations of it. Just to check, now, are there any other? Those are the ones I know. Are there any reactions that like, you notice that after that, those sort of basic?
I don't know.
Well, even just anything else, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical. I mean, for what we do, our job is pretty much reactive. Yeah. I mean, right down to the brand tries, although those really But like when we see a clip or a movie or something like that, you can do a delayed reaction where you just don't get it and then it hits you, or you can just, it hits you right away, or it's over the top, or it's subtle, or I mean, there's so many various ways to react. It's just not always physical.
Yeah, in some of the stuff that I've watched, there's not a lot of subtlety there, so you pretty much know right away what your reaction will be when somebody's having sex with E.T. Right away, that in and of itself is funny, but your reaction to it can be, what? Like you're confused, like this is really confused. Why is somebody doing this? Why is he turned on by this? Or just like, or shocked or sick, or any kind of reaction to add to something that in and of itself is already kind of funny.
Well, and something to keep in mind, like he was saying, it's like you have an image of somebody doing E.T. Now, what you try to do is you try to capture the reaction of the audience. And a lot of, even with what you're doing there, you're reacting to how, maybe somebody watching would think they would react if they were hit in the head, and would take them a second. Because the misery always has to be relatable. You have to be able to connect to it. That's how it becomes funnier and funnier. Now, what you just saw there, that's an example of slapstick, and that's physical humor. And that stuff which I really like, because you can play with reactions. The result is always going to be the same. It's going to hurt you physically somehow, but how do you build up to it? How do you react to it? And even there, we try different types of build-up, and build-up is also very, very important to a joke. And again, even with reviews, we can say, can this possibly get any worse than that? You show a clip that's worse. And again, and you do the reactions to it as well. And with slapstick, again, I don't have a clip, but let's say, one of my favorite examples of slapstick is Tom and Jerry. I love Tom and Jerry slapstick. And the reason the slapstick is so good there, I'll try to think of a bad example. Let's say a Mickey Mouse cartoon or something like that. And that Mickey Mouse, I'm sure, has some good slapstick sometimes, but let's say Mickey Mouse gets hit. Here's the physical Mickey Mouse or something like that. I'm gonna hurt Mickey Mouse. Let's say I'm gonna hit him on the head. You hit him on the head, he would sort of almost like rubber, he would sort of go like this and go, whoa, whoa, and fall over or something like that. With Tom and Jerry, the reason that slapstick was so good is that when it hits them, it feels hard. And the sound, it sounds like, something hitting a brick wall. It's not something like a boing or boom or something, it's like a bam. And the more pain, it's hard to say, but the more pain that can come across, the funnier it is. And the other thing I've picked up about Tom and Jerry that's always been good with the slapstick is that, you've probably seen this in other things too, maybe Jerry has some sort of weapon, a small little weapon, and you see Tom go,
Yeah.
The more content, the more happy, the more totally relaxed a character is before they get hurt, the funnier it's going to be. And again, that's part of build-up. So if you have, or even confused, the more unexpected it is, the more funny the payoff is going to be. Because again, they're in this world, they're in this emotion that's suddenly going to be shattered. And the more it can be shattered, and the more it breaks them out, and the more funny it is, because it creates more misery. And again, I know it sounds strange, but just the more pain you can apply to it, usually the funnier it is, whether it be physical or just, speaking, even just dialogue. Now, with that said, let's talk about different kinds of humor in terms of speed. Usually, right now especially, and most people would say that the best kind of comedy is fast comedy. The quicker you can get it out, usually the better. There can be too fast, but usually the faster comedy is the stuff that sells the best, especially now with the internet and how short our attention spans are and stuff like that. And what got me famous was 5-second movies. I mean, that's what got people looking at me, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It was taking clips from a movie and condensing it down to roughly 5 seconds. So Titanic in 5 seconds was a guy saying, "This ship can't sink, the ship sinks." And that gets on because it's just so quick. You're taking this big, epic tragedy and reducing it down to just 5 seconds. Yeah. Or the 50 impressions in 50 seconds. That got me a commercial spot for Make 'em Laugh. Again, because 50 impressions in 50 seconds, you like a word or a reaction from somebody doing an impression, or of a famous comedian or actor. And the advantage of fast comedy is that it brings people back. They want to see it more because sometimes it goes so fast they want to see it again. The time it can backfire is when it goes so fast that a person gets frustrated, and that can happen sometimes, where comedy is just too quick, they're not getting it, or if you're going really, really fast, you're not having that many funny jokes. That can get very frustrating too. You have to make sure the jokes are still just as good. It's not, sometimes you'll have a miss. I mean, it's going to happen when you just throw a lot of jokes, but the more hits you can get, the more people are going to want to go back and relive that experience. They're going to want to laugh at it. With your videos or your reviews, can you think of anything where it's like the speed, the quickness of it really played like a big part?
Yeah, there was a movie I saw that pretty much was a 5-second movie in and of itself. And that was a movie called McGee. I don't know if any of you seen this, but it starts out as a... There's two people.
I'm over here.
It starts out as a nature documentary and turns into Sasquatch porn. Sasquatch turns up and he is very attracted to the women in the movie. And so the way I say the movie works fast is because it's only 45 minutes long and it ends with the guy showing up and shooing Sasquatch away. Get! So Sasquatch is going and he kind of pushes one guy over and then walks away. And you're thinking, oh man, they're going to go find him, kill him or something. And then it shows the dude. The dude's like, the guy's sitting there, he's like, oh, one day I'm going to get that filthy animal. The end. What? Is there a sequel? No, there's not. That's just, all right. Yeah. So that was a very fast movie. That was like, oh man, this climax is going to this is going to get rough. We're going to get some shotguns. But one day I'm going to get that filthy animal. The end. Alright. I cut my name really short.
Must have had an budget for the rest of the movie.
Probably.
So that's a case where it's like, even just the length of how long something is, you think it's going to go longer, and then just the area where it ends or cuts, can be replayed just by making it quicker and shorter. There's also slow humor, which is more difficult to do, and is done less because of that, but it can be done. But it also hits a very particular range. You've heard this online a lot of times too, where someone will just take a joke. People most guilty of this are Family Guy. They love to take a joke and just stretch it and stretch it. Another good example is Andy Kaufman. He loved to take a joke and stretch it and stretch it. Half the time he wouldn't even have a punchline. He'd just see how long he stretched something, and the joke was just seeing how long he could get away with it. And that tests people's patience. And again, that's a very different kind of misery, because the misery is actually being delivered on you. You're the one going through the misery, and you're laughing because you're wondering, how long can I take this? How long until I change this damn channel? How long until I get frustrated and leave?